I think that a lot of people believe that yoga is just about twisting yourself into some kind of human pretzel. Um, but actually, it's much more than that. And I really think there's a lot of relevance to leadership. And certainly, as someone who's practiced yoga for many years now, I've found it hugely helpful to me in my leadership journey. The term yoga actually means yoke, of bringing, and that's the idea of bringing together the body and the mind. So you imagine yourself riding two horses of body and mind. You're trying to get them to work in harmony when you're doing yoga. And in leadership, I mean, we sometimes feel we're probably riding more than two horses, maybe 4 or 5. So that learning to bring things together in harmony can be incredibly useful in the leadership journey. So what have I gained from doing yoga? I thought I'd share with you just a few thoughts about that and what it's meant to me. First of all, about doing the basics. In yoga, you know, you think you want to turn yourself into a human pretzel, but actually what you have to do at the beginning is the basics, very simple positions. And I remember being very annoyed with my yoga teacher who said that I couldn't do complex positions at the beginning because I just wasn't prepared. And it's exactly the same in leadership. You know, you have to learn to chair a meeting, write a budget, lead a team, speak effectively. And if you can't do those things, and if you don't have the groundwork there, you're not going to be able to really fly at the next stage as a leader. You know, it's always going to trip you up. And it's exactly the same in yoga. You know, you have to do the basics. I'm sure people who play musical instruments would say something similar. The second thing is thinking about it. I mean, when I can't practice my yoga, and sometimes, you know, you just can't, you're too busy or whatever, I really think about it and think about what I'm going to do. And in leadership, you know, we're human beings, not human doings. And we sort of need to sometimes think really carefully about what we're about to do, not just do it. And thinking about it can be hugely important to our effectiveness. There are really examples in sports. So, you know, there's evidence now that sports people who train by just thinking about what they're going to achieve actually develop the muscle mass that enables them to be better. And they'll, you know, think of the soccer player standing on the sports field who doesn't actually kick the ball at all, but thinks about kicking the ball. And this is well known in sports practice. So thinking is really important, and as is the practice itself. So you have to do the do, you know, in yoga, you have to do that. You have to try almost every day, which is what I aim for. So, you know, you have to find opportunities that are going to let you try out your leadership. So, you know, take that chance to lead the team. Risk, you know, leading that meeting, doing the thing that is going to give you that practice. One that I think is really important is awareness. In yoga, it's about developing your awareness of your body and your mind and how they work together and how you are today as you do your practice. And I think awareness in leadership is crucial in 2 ways. One, developing your own self-awareness. What is your impact on others? What are your strengths and weaknesses? You know, you need to think about how you're going to build on your strengths, but you may not be able to do everything. You need people with you who can support you and compensate, if you like, for your weaknesses. You know, if you're not brilliant at building strategic plans, you need someone who can help you to do that. So self-awareness is crucial, but also is awareness of what's going on around you, you know, sensing your environment, knowing what people are thinking and how they're reacting to what you're doing. You know, if you don't read the room properly in that crucial meeting, then you may not achieve your goals. So I think building awareness is one of the things I've learned most from yoga, and I think is absolutely critical as a leader. I think many people think that as women, you know, we're particularly good at this, and we may have an aptitude for it, but we really need to develop it and work on it, because it's a crucial skill. The next one is pushing and accepting. You know, when you start out doing yoga, you think, oh, right, I'm going to be able to turn myself into a human pretzel. In fact, you may not be able to. You may not actually have that bodily aptitude to do it. But you can try and push, and you must try and push. So in leadership, it's just the same too. You know, you need to find those opportunities to test what you're good at. It may turn out that you're not a financial genius, but you need to be financially literate, and you need to push yourself to develop that. But in other areas, but to do the finance really effectively, you're going to need to find an accountant to support you. So I know in yoga that if you don't challenge yourself, you never know what you can do. But on the other hand, you do sometimes have to allow the other person to become the human pretzel rather than you, and accept that they have to do that and you do something different. And finally, prioritizing. One of the things I've learned most from yoga is it gives you the space and the time and the reflection to really consider what's most important. You know, you allow certain thoughts to float to the surface and others to float away. And I think as women, we're often really having many priorities. We're wrestling with too many challenges at the same time, and having a way of reflecting and giving yourself the time to figure out what's really important and what is your most important goal is hugely valuable. It certainly has been for me. I really hope that's been of interest to you, and I hope maybe some of you will try yoga as a way of helping you personally, but also to develop your leadership.